Hello again, Year 3, and welcome back to our next science lesson. And unfortunately, this is our last lesson on the Nappy Challenge units. And we've learned so much about nappies along the way, and we've learned so many new scientific skills along the way that it would be great to put all of those into practice. And we've got a bit of a quiz for us today to test your knowledge. So let's get started. There are a few questions. You can either jot these down on a piece of paper, or there is a way to do them on Microsoft Teams as well, although the questions are slightly different on there. First question, write down 5 questions that you could ask about disposable nappies. Make sure that each question uses a different question stem. So you've got to use a different question stem, like what, where, when, why, how, at the beginning of each question. As always with these quizzes, please feel free to pause the video between questions so you can have a go at jotting down the answers. Otherwise, I will move on. Question 2, what does absorbent mean? Does it mean it does not soak up a liquid? Does it mean it makes liquid disappear? Or does it mean it's able to soak up a liquid? And why are some nappies called disposable nappies? Once again, if you'd like some extra time, pause the video here. We will go through the answers at the end. Question 3. Class 3 took apart a disposable nappy. They found some crystals inside the nappy. Why are the crystals used? What are they used for? Question 4. Alex asked these questions about disposable nappies, and you need to match the question to how they could be answered. So could you sort, research, or fair test? What did scientists have to do to invent nappies? Which nappy holds the most liquids? And how many different materials are there in the nappy? So what did scientists have to do to invent the nappies? Which nappy holds the most liquid? And how many different materials are there in a nappy? Question 5. Class 3 tested disposable nappies to find out which one had the stretchiest elastic. Here are their results. Question A, write the label for the y-axis, and that's the axis going up here, and you can see a little question mark. So what do those numbers mean? You've got to come up with a label that explains that. Question B, write the heading for the graph. So if you were to give this graph a title, what would the title of it be? Question C, which nappy was the stretchiest? You've got to choose by looking at the bar chart. And question D, which nappy stretched the least? Which one stretched the least? Question 6, write down 3 reasons why disposable nappies are harmful to the environment. And last question. Children in class 5 carried out a survey about disposable nappies. Here is their data. Use it to answer the questions. So let me read some of it to you. Along the top, we have types of nappies, and we can see there's nappy A, nappy B, nappy C. Then we have the cost. Nappy A costs 96p per nappy, nappy B is 80p per nappy, and nappy C is 50p per nappy. Does it keep the baby dry? Nappy A does, nappy B does, nappy C doesn't. Does it leak? Or does not leak? So nappy A does leak, nappy B does leak, nappy C doesn't leak. And does it last 3 hours or more? Nappy A doesn't, nappy B does, nappy C doesn't. Now the first question, there's not necessarily a right or wrong answer, as long as you can explain why. So which nappy do you think is the best and why? You've got to use those reasons to decide which one is the best nappy. Which nappy is the worst and why? Again, there's not necessarily a right or wrong answer. It's your opinion. As long as you can justify it, you can say nappy A is the worst because, and you've got to explain it, that is fine. And question C, is the most expensive nappy the best and why? Again, it's not necessarily a right or wrong answer for this one either. As long as you say nappy A, sorry, the most expensive nappy. Is the most expensive nappy the best? And the most expensive nappy is the best because, or the most expensive nappy isn't the best because. As long as you explain it, again, that is fine. We're going to go through the answers in just a moment. If you need some more time, please pause the video here and then we'll look at those questions. So question 1, I'm not necessarily going to give you lots of different answers for this, but I'm going to give you a few that you could have used. So 5 questions about disposable nappy. Make sure you ensure each question uses a different question stem. So I might say can't see my writing. Which nappy absorbs the most liquid? When were nappies invented? Who invented the nappy? A question that we researched recently. And how are nappies used? I'll pause there. If you've got all 5, wonderful. There's a few that you could use. You might have some different questions, and that is fine. You can send those in as usual. Which word does... Sorry, let me start again. What does the word absorbent mean? Tick the correct answer. It means it is able to soak up liquid. So I can't do a tick on this, but I put a cross in the correct box there. So it's that one, or was the correct answer. And why are some nappies called disposable nappies? It's because they are not reused. They don't get reused, they get thrown away. So as long as you had something similar, that is great. Class 3 took apart a disposable nappy. They found some crystals inside. Why are the crystals used? They are used to absorb liquid. So as long as you had something similar to that, you might have said to absorb urine or to absorb feces. As long as you got that word absorb followed by liquid, urine, feces or similar, that would give you the right answer for that one. Question 4. Alex asked these questions about disposable nappies. Which of these words matches with which question? So what did scientists have to do to invent nappies? They would have had to do some research. Which nappy holds the most liquids? For that one, we'd probably have to use a fair test where we change one thing, which would be the type of nappy, and keep everything else the same, like the amount of water, how we measure the water, and so on. How many different materials are there in a nappy? We would likely sort for that one. Question 5. Class 3 tested disposable nappies to find out which one had the stretchiest elastic. Write the label for the y-axis. So up there, what could we label that with? I would say distance stretched. I might put brackets in centimeters to show how it was measured. As long as you had something similar to that, that is great. Right, their heading for the graph. Well, I'm going to magpie from up here. So it says which one had the stretchiest elastic. So which nappy is stretchiest? I'm going to go for. And as long as you had something similar, that's fine. And we've got to answer that question next. Which nappy was the stretchiest? Well, I'm looking at the bar charts and nappy 1 stretched the furthest. So the answer there is nappy 1. And which nappy stretched the least? The one with the smallest bar is nappy 3. So nappy 3 stretched the least. Write down 3 reasons why disposable nappies are harmful to the environment. They take a long time to break down. They release greenhouse gases if burned. They can't be reused. There's 3 reasons you could have had. You might have had some different ones to me. If you did, that's fine. We can always have a look at those. Question 7. Children in class 5 carried out a survey. Here is their data. Now, I can't give you the answers to this one. I'm going to give you some example answers. Now, you might have had something different, but as I said, there isn't a right or wrong answer as long as you can explain why. So which nappy do you think is the best and why? I think nappy B is the best because it has 2 yeses. So it keeps the baby dry and lasts for 3 hours or more. The other ones only have 1 yes. Which nappy is the worst? I think that nappy C is the worst, because it only is good because it doesn't leak, but it doesn't keep the baby dry and it doesn't last very long. And is the most expensive nappy the best, and why? I would say no, because it keeps the baby dry, but it does leak and it doesn't last very long. So it's not the best. And as I already said, I think nappy B is the best. You might have had similar answers. You might have had something slightly different. That is fine. If you want to send your learning in, you can do so as always, and we will look forward to seeing it. Thanks for joining today, Year 3. See you next time.